Boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Did it.
Wait, our episodes come out on Wednesdays or Thursdays now? I can't remember.
Fuck, who fucking knows? Whenever Lexy remembers to post a fucking episode. I swear I had it all ready. I was over-prepared, and I was like, I got this. And then I'm like, wait, today's Wednesday. Fuck! But everything was there. Everything was ready. I had it ready by Monday. Okay, anyways, I'll do better this week.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And, you know, little bumps in the road.
Wednesday, 2 o'clock.
Are we ready to dive in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
You know your life is just a dream, don't you?
Welcome to Who Fucking Knows, a podcast where hold on, I forgot how many people are here. Welcome to Who Fucking Knows, a podcast where three friends, a blonde, a brunette, and a redhead, discuss murder mysteries, conspiracy theories, and unknown phenomena that make you say, who fucking knows what happened. My name is Angela.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Lexy.
And welcome to the podcast. We're
Hello.
here. Just a little reminder there for all of you who don't do it, but all of you who do, I love you. Remember to like us, follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that bullshit. Also Patreon now because we like free money. Whoop, 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 whoop,
Yeah, and you can find that link down below if you're watching us on YouTube right now, because I'm adding that into our descriptions nowadays. But yeah.
Yeah. What are y'all drinking this week, if anything fancy?
I'm having ponche again because I have like a really big supply of ponche here, and I didn't feel like going to the store to get anything else because why would I? So yeah,
Exactly.
that's what I'm having.
Yes.
Okay. What about you, Lex?
I'm drinking a Truly lemonade because they're delicious. Don't judge me.
Not judging. I am drinking for like the first time and actually enjoying it. Red wine. You know what I found?
Ooh.
I like menage a trois.
Oh,
That's one of my
menage a trois.
favorites.
Do you know what menage a trois means in French?
No.
Suck my tit? I don't know.
It's a threesome, I think. It's like
Oh,
a threesome,
close.
but I believe
Taylor
it
was
comes. It's
close.
like it's a blend of 3 different grapes, maybe. Or I'm making that up. But anyways, we're menage a trois. We're a threesome, I guess you could say.
We're rated G threesome.
Yeah. I don't know. Some of the stuff we talk about is pretty morbid. So
yeah. I didn't mean it in a sexual way. I meant like a. Anyways, yeah. I'll stop with that.
Hey guys, so I want to start you off, y'all, with a fun work story. I hinted at it to Lexy, but I know you'll appreciate this too. So I come into work. I work at a hotel, named to not be disclosed, but I work in a hotel, and right now with the pandemic and everything, things are kind of cheaper than they were beforehand, so they're a little bit more affordable for you and me, weirdos, anybody.
You know, riffraff.
No big deal. And on Monday when I got into work, my coworker's just like, you missed something crazy. I'm like, fill me in. So a couple checked in on Sunday evening and gave our host a huge deal. Needs to have a certain view, needs to be a certain number, can only be on like an even number floor, things like that. Very specific. And like every so often we get people that specific, and like usually we're pretty accommodating, but we have a couple floors that are just completely kaput because we have a like cycling for cleaning and all that good stuff. Anyway, so finally get them into a room, and we get a little notification, not us, but like my engineering team gets a little notification that the fire alarm in the room has been deactivated, like been pulled off of the wall.
Ooh.
And that's always like, ding, 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 people are trying to smoke in the room, right?
Mm.
Well, we try to go up there to be like, hey, let us put this in because it's a fire hazard. We cannot let you stay in this room without this up. And they wouldn't let us in the room. They, the guests, were calling the Irvine police and then denying calling the police. Police come, talk to one of my coworkers, and they're like yelling through the door. The people staying at the hotel are yelling through the door like, you're not actually hotel guests. You're not the actual police. You're all out to get me. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, no.
I don't know what is the calming side of things, but eventually we get in there and we're able to fix the fire alarm and it's all said and done. And then we pass that on, that information on to the overnight person, like, hey, these people might be a headache, just so you know. And that overnight person's like, they didn't do anything, they didn't bother me, they're fine. I'm like, okay, cool. The alarm didn't go off again. So then on Monday, about an hour before I got into work, they refused to leave the hotel. The people staying at the hotel, they refused to leave, and we refused to extend their reservation because they're like, you've been too much. We don't want you here anymore. We took you out last night, but we're not letting you stay another night, right? Well, we have to call the police to escort them off property. And while I'm walking up into the hallway, going into like the front desk area, I just start hearing all this screaming. Oh, and the screaming is along the lines of, you're not who you say you are, you're all lizards or aliens under disguise trying to get to me and my wife and blah, 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 blah. And just, like, we escorted them off, and they were always gone. I've never interacted with them since then, but yeah, they thought I was an alien. Me and my coworkers, along with the police, were aliens out to get them. So,
oh, wow. They must have been spoken, like, salvia or something, like whatever.
Salvia only lasts like 5 minutes. This is probably like hardcore shit.
Like, damn.
Funny.
Very quickly, before we continue, does someone have like a bird in the background?
Yes, I have annoying neighbors with birds.
Oh, I was gonna say, who has the bird?
Like, I was like, I don't have a pet bird.
I thought it was Angela for some reason. No, because I'm like, I know she moved. Like, maybe her mom has birds.
No. Okay.
No. It's funny that you mentioned that because Meredith, my roommate, was listening to the last episode and she's like, I'm pissed that the birds made it into the podcast before I did. The window is closed, by the way. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of the birds. Anyway.
Anyways, all right.
Shall I get into a current event?
Yes.
Yes.
So since last week's current event was such a downer, also because we needed that update, but I decided to do something really random and kind of fun. And so the title of this article from UPI.com, California City Hunting Aggressive Turkey That Forced Park Closure.
Yikes.
August, yeah.
Speaking of birds.
Oh, it ties in nicely. I did not plan that, friends. So August 13th, which is today's recording. This will come out next week, Thursday. Sorry, y'all. Anyway.
Wednesday.
Or Wednesday.
Maybe Thursday.
We'll see what fucking happens. Officials in California said that they are attempting to capture and relocate a wild turkey that was a long-time beloved resident before becoming so aggressive he forced the closure of a local park. Residents of the Grand Lake neighborhood of Oakland said Gerald, which is the turkey's name, the turkey, has been a longtime resident of the area and was beloved by locals before he started becoming territorial and aggressive towards humans earlier in the summer, about the time turkey mating season began. So he's just horny. Gerald's behavior became so aggressive that city officials ordered the closing of the neighborhood's Morecambe Rose Garden. He's still there, Ann, director of Oakland Animal Services, told the East Bay Times. A Department of Fish and Wildlife officer tried to trap him and couldn't, so he gave up. Officials said efforts are underway to capture and relocate the turkey. Right now, the city of Oakland is trying to catch Gerald. Ken Paglia, spokesman for the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, told KGO-TV. And if they do catch him, then my Department of Fish and Wildlife, has permission from an East Bay property owner to relocate Gerald there. Residents said Gerald's behavior calmed as turkey mating season came to a close, but officials said that they still want him relocated in case he becomes aggressive again.
I feel like
Gerald.
when a turkey becomes aggressive, then it's time for it to become food.
Thanksgiving in August? I'm down.
Yeah.
Have a community Thanksgiving. I'll be like, thank you, Gerald, for being a part
Sorry,
of it.
Gerald.
Sorry, you're so frustrated, Gerald.
I wonder if that does anything to the meat. Does it make it more tense? Does it make it more juicy?
Ew.
Gobble, gobble. Anyway. Those are my 2 cents for today.
Oh my god, that was the perfect Taylor current event. Thank you.
You're welcome. Also, I don't know if I said this while we were recording, but I definitely told both you and Angela beforehand, but I'm on glass number 4 out of 4 of my whole bottle of wine, so we're on a ride tonight.
Yeah. Woo.
So, to start us off story-wise, I'm going to tell you about the monster with 21 faces.
Ooh.
Wow.
That sounds
that?
exciting, but terrifying at the same time.
Well, we'll see if it's actually a monster.
That's what I was
Oh.
thinking. Is it
Ooh.
a person?
So all of my info, almost to the point of copy and paste entirely sentence to sentence, is all theghostinmymachine.com. He covers a lot. He does like blog posts with a lot of different like spooky and unknown kind of things that happened in Japan, which is where the story originates from. So thank you, The Ghost in My Machine, for doing my story for me this week.
Nice.
So the year is 1984, and we're in Osaka, Japan. Oh, and by the way, we've got some foreign names in here, so just bear with me.
Yes,
while
thank you, God. Let's go.
Didn't learn from Norway last week. It's fine. So, we're gonna talk about Katsuya Izaki, and I'm gonna reference him as Izaki. He is the president and CEO of Izaki Glico, which is a Japanese food and sugar like candy company known best for creating a chocolate covered twig-like biscuit called Pocky. And here's a
Ooh,
photo.
I love Pocky.
Pocky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like literally the sticks
like,
dipped in
yes.
chocolate. So very popular everywhere in the world. And then let's see. He is married and has 3 children. That's all the info I wanted to put just because this is kind of a long one. So let's just dive right in. So on March 18th, 1984, and oh, by the way, here's a picture of Izaki. So March 18th, 1984, several masked armed men broke into Izaki's mother's house. They tied her up and took the house key of Izaki and his family. Izaki happened to live next door to his mother, and so the men cut the phone lines and entered the Izaki house. They found and overpowered Izaki's wife and daughter, tying them up to chairs. Izaki's wife was trying to negotiate money for their safety. They demanded to know where Izaki was. Meanwhile, some of the men were searching the house. They found Izaki with his 2 other children in the bathroom. The men kidnapped Izaki and left the remaining family members tied up at the house. So, like, other than emotional trauma, the family's pretty much all right.
Yeah, I'm like, at least they didn't
missing dad.
do anything to the wife and daughter. That's good.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
criminals aren't that bad. They're not the worst we've had so far.
Not yet. No, they're definitely not that bad. Like, this is actually kind of a lighthearted story, I want to say. It's still true crime, but, like,
Lighthearted
When compared to
from Taylor's-
others, yeah.
Yeah,
No one
Taylor
dies.
Standards. Oh.
no one dies.
What? Spoiler. Just kidding.
Hey, you know what? For my stories, that's kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
So the next day, there was a ransom demand from the kidnappers. They wanted 100 kilograms of gold bullion or 1 billion yen in cash for his safe return. That is equivalent at about $4.3 million in US dollars today. So they wanted a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
So, after 3 days of being captured, Izaki was able to loosen the ropes that bound him and kick down a door, escaping into the streets. He hailed down to a railway employees to help who aided him in phoning the police and his family. So he did get away. No harm, no foul, right? So, not long after Izaki got settled back into his office and going back to work and everything after everything, letters started arriving. Letters were addressed to the police, to Glico, his company, and also to other companies, newspapers, and other media organizations, claiming to have been sent by the kidnappers. On April 8th, 1984, which is about 21 or so days after the kidnapping, a letter was sent to the police and later published to the press, which read, quote, "To the stupid police, are you idiots? What are you doing with so many people? If you were pros, you would catch us. Because you guys have such a high handicap, we're going to give you some hints. The kidnapping wasn't an inside job." Apparently there was speculation that maybe it was an inside job. There weren't any of us within the police. Also none within the Mizupo Kumiyahai, which was the union that owned the warehouse in Ibaraki where Izaki was held. So it's not the people that owned where he was held during the time. The car we used was gray. We bought our food at Daiei Supermarket. If you want to learn more, put an ad in the newspaper. If you can't catch us after this much info, you guys are just thieves of the taxpayers' money. Should we also kidnap the head of the police? The monster with 21 faces.
Oh.
So
Ew.
it's just an organization. It's not an actual monster. Sorry, friends.
That's a pretty cool name for an organization, not gonna
Very
lie.
creative.
Yeah. Makes me think, whoa, what are they? Are there 21 people, you know?
21 people, 21. No.
Are they just all of legal drinking age? I'm just kidding.
I
JK,
don't
they're in
know.
like Japan, so it's probably
Japan
way
18.
younger there.
Yeah.
Or just a different age in general.
Yeah.
Shut up, bird. I'm sorry, people.
It's like beep, 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 beep. Okay, sorry.
The letter was from the monster with 21 faces. Following the letter were 2 fires that are believed to be instances of arson that broke out at Glyco facilities, while an anonymous phone call made to the company stated that if they paid the equivalent of 1.3 million United States dollars, the campaign of harassment would cease. There was also another kidnapping as well, not of Zaki, but a different young man who worked at the company. So, of May of 1984, so about a month after that first initial letter that I read, the monster with 21 faces sent letters to news organizations in the Osaka area claiming that the monster laced numerous packages of glyco sweets with potassium cyanide and planted them on store shelves among regular candy. So that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Among the Pokies? Or is this something different?
Just, they have
Candy
an
in
array
general?
of candies.
Oh,
so
they
it was,
do. Yeah, probably.
They just
love
claim, I
Japanese
love that, like,
candies.
filling of the glass sound, Angela, by the way.
Oh.
So they planted them on store shelves among regular candy. All the candy was then recalled, and there was no evidence of poisoning found at all. So it was just a hoax.
Oh,
And
fuck.
the threat still cost the company $12 million.
I'm sure.
Because they had to claim everything
They
back.
had
Because if
to
one
take it,
person
yeah.
got poisoned, then they could get sued and all this bullshit, right?
You know what? I'm really liking these people because they're like, they didn't kill the wife, they didn't do anything. They're just fucking trolling this company.
They are
and
trolls.
the police. Yeah, they're trolls. They're like, we wouldn't poison children, you dumbass.
Are you kidding me?
Just wait.
Oh man, okay.
On June 26th, the monster sent another letter calling for a ceasefire. Quote, "To our fans throughout Japan, we're satisfied. The president of Glyco has already gone, and with his head hanging down long enough. He would like to forgive... I think I'm supposed to say we would like to forgive him because it says he, but I think I just mistyped it. Anyway, in our group, there's a 4-year-old kid. Every day he cries for Glyco. We also haven't eaten any for a long time, and we used to eat it all the time. It's a drag to make a kid cry because he's deprived of the candy he loves, so we're all also really upset. It would be great if we could forgive Glyco so the supermarkets could sell their products again. Japan has gotten terribly hot and humid, so when our, quote, work is done, we want to go to Europe, Geneva, Paris, London. We'll be in one of those places. The police have done a good job. Hang in there and don't give up. Even Sherlock Holmes couldn't beat us, the, quote, monster with 21 faces. If you read the story of the fiend with 20 faces, you'll get a lot smarter. The police's European tour. Let's go to the Europe to catch the monster with 21 faces. Let's bring Pocky, the traveler's friend. Delicious Glyco products, and we're eating them too. See you in January of next year." So that came out in late June. Well, while they were claiming January and it being Europe, that was a whole bunch of bullshit because literally just days afterwards, like maybe not even a week, they sent out another letter and started targeting other businesses and still in Japan. So in total, they targeted 6 other well-known food and candy producers in Japan. Yeah. And I'm going to go over the next 2 big ones because it's a lot of information. And honestly, go back to the website I said earlier if you want to look into this more in depth because I just didn't want to take up the whole entire podcast with the story. So the first company that I'm going to talk about after Glyco was Marude Food Company, which is headquartered in Takatsuki. Unlike Glyco, they decided to pay off the monster in exchange for a halt to the harassment the company had been experiencing. So they were given the same opportunity, like, either pay this or we're going to make this worse. And so they're like, hey, we'll pay it. We don't need to be like Glyco, right? And in addition, the police were like, ooh, we can use this as a sting. Maybe we can drop off the cash and catch these people. So July 28th, 1984, an investigator disguised as a Marade employee took 50 million yen and boarded a train traveling from Osaka to Kyoto. The drop point was to be marked with a white flag along the train tracks. The money was to be tossed off the train at that point. Aboard the train, the investigator acting as the Marudai employee spotted a suspicious man watching him. A man he described as having a powerful build, short, permed hair, glasses, and eyes like a fox. Another investigator attempted to tail him and ended up losing him. So the article kind of goes on and says, like, there's no proof that he was part of anything. It could have been just, like, an odd-looking character at the wrong time and the wrong place, or it could have been someone part of the thing. Either way, he got away and they weren't able to question him. So the second company I'm going to describe is the Morinaga Fall Company. The next target of the monster was Morinaga in the fall of 1984. The company chose to ignore the letters, and they also declined paying the equivalent of $410,000 to suffer this consequences, which is kind of like funny because all the other ones were in the millions and this is only 410,000. Still a hefty amount,
yeah,
but very small compared to the other ones that they were harassing, right? So they decided to take action. On October 8, 1984, a letter was sent and published to news organizations which read, quote, "To moms throughout Japan, in autumn, when appetites are strong, sweets are really delicious. When you think sweets, no matter what you say, it's moringa. We've added some special flavor. The flavor potassium cyanide is a little bitter. It won't cause tooth decay, so buy the sweets for your kids. We attached a notice on those bitter sweets that they contain poison. We put 20 boxes in stores from Hakata to Tokyo." Wow. And so between October of 1984 and February of 1985, a total of 21, which is one more than they said, but 21 faces, right? 21 packages were located that were Morinaga sweets with a label pasted to the outside carrying messages like, quote, "Danger, contains poison. You'll die if you eat this. The monster with 21 faces." So, like, they labeled the boxes, which is kind of nice, but also they did more boxes than they said that they were, so kind of sketch, right?
I feel like that's also very, I don't know, like, who is to say that they didn't just put a different box and then label a good one, you know? That's,
yeah. Reverse psychology.
Yeah. So all the 21 packages that they did locate that had the label on them did have cyanide on them. So it was very good that we took those off the shelves. So later letters also claimed that the monster intended to release more poison sweets in the future, but without the benefit of the added warning labels. So there was a new lead on October 7th. In Osaka, there was security footage recorded at a store that appeared to show a man placing an object on a shelf, which was later discovered to hold potassium cyanide-laced candy. And they were able to take a screenshot of the videos, and this is the photo there. The footage was of poor quality. However, with enhancement, there's an image of a man wearing a Yomiuri Giants baseball cap, glasses, and permed hair. It was made public in October 15th. Excuse me, I'm burping. I thought I wouldn't burp with wine, but I guess not. And then I think I just kind of forgot to show this picture earlier, but this is a sketch of the fox face man from the train. And so there's that real quick for you. So over the course of that time when they were looking for the boxes and afterwards as well, there's more than 100 of these letters would emerge over the next year and a half, primarily written on a pan-written typewriter in the Osaka dialect and almost exclusively using the hiragana syllabary. Syllabus? I don't know.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, who fucking knows? And that typewriter is, here's a photo of it right here, was a rare and obsolete variety at that time. So it's very odd that they were using this machine. And also the dialect is known for its ability to communicate emotion and humor. And the syllabary is the simplest of the main character set used in Japanese writing system. So there's a chance that they're not even Japanese and that they took the easiest way to like write about it and stuff of that nature to write the letters. That was one theory that they like tried to look into. So let's fast forward from February to August of 1985. In August of 1985, Soji Yunamoto, who was the superintendent of Shiga's police, he was the part of the money drop sting. They were the ones who like put that all on and everything. He committed suicide by lighting himself on fire, which is alleged due to, quote, embarrassment of the error made by his subordinates and failing to arrest suspects involving the drama of fall of 1984. So all of the poisoning and stuff of that nature, right? Oh. And then what was weird is several days after Yamamoto's death, the last letter was sent to news organizations, and it read, quote, Yamamoto of Shiga Prefecture Police died. How stupid of him. We've got no friends or secret hiding places in Shiga. It's Yoshino or Shikata who should have died. I have no idea who those people are. I think it might have been the two people that actually did the sting operation, but I'm not sure. I didn't look into it. Sorry. What have they been doing for as long as 1 year and 5 months? Don't let bad guys like us get away with it. There are many more fools who want to copy us. No, career Yamamoto died like a man. So we decided to give our condolences. We decided to forget about torturing food-making companies. If anyone blackmails any of the food-making companies, it's not us, but someone copying us. We are bad guys. That means we've got more to do other than bullying companies. It's fun to lead a bad man's life. The monster with 21 faces. And that's the last that we know about him at all. They haven't resurfaced since. They haven't done anything else. And that's my story for this week. Who fucking knows who they are? Who fucking knows what they're doing now? If it's a bigger organization or not? But boom.
Wow. So the last we heard from them was in 84. Is that
85?
85. Wow. That's
Is there
crazy.
any kind of, aside from them being food companies, is there any kind of connection? Do you think they targeted them because they sold a lot of candy and sweets type of stuff, or it's like unhealthy food, or?
I honestly don't know. Some of the theories that came on is that they were like having a kick with it and decided these big name companies that make so much money could afford the like kick, or maybe it came from like smaller stores that are trying to like start up and they're like the big candy Mongols that didn't want to share the market. Or I also think I read something along the lines of like, it was just someone bored wanting to fuck with people type of thing.
Well, dang. What G's, because they got away with it.
Yeah, who fucking knows? They did make quite a good amount of money off of this because the one company did pay them off almost like a couple $1 million. So maybe they were like, okay, one person died. We don't want to mix up with that bullshit. So we're taking a hiatus, or we're moving on to other bigger and better things, but nothing since. So
dang.
Nice. Well, cool. That was a good story. I love it when they just don't have any answers.
I'm trying to get back into those roots.
Yeah, that is a true who fucking knows what happened.
Yeah. Alrighty. It's my turn.
Lexy, you ready for your story?
I am. I'm gonna start with a little like dramatic piece. I think I've been here before. I think I've run into you. I know the things that you do, 'cause this is Anybody?
No.
Deja vu. Whoa,
whoa. I feel like I should have known that.
303, come on, like the
I was
band
gonna
that
say
I loved in middle school.
1952.
This is 1952.
I don't know why that was like the first thing that popped into my head.
That's so funny. Alright, so chances are you guys and most people listening have experienced what I just mentioned, deja vu. Maybe I gave you deja vu just now by singing that song to you. Who fucking knows? And chances are sometimes your experiences with deja vu were a little weird. Personally, I get deja vu a lot whenever I look at a pair of scissors, and I don't know why, but it's the weirdest fucking thing.
Fuck.
And
like,
it's
what do you feel? Like, is there anything that, like, pops into your mind at all other than,
more
like,
scissors? Like, I look at a pair of scissors and I'm like, that's so familiar. But it's, like,
you get,
very...
like, a weird feeling.
And then I get a weird feeling. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And it's, like, a reoccurring sense of deja vu when I look at, like, scissors sitting on a desk or sitting on a counter. I don't know. It's fucking weird. But the official definition of deja vu is a feeling of having already experienced the present situation. So the feeling is fleeting and often comes up out of nowhere, and it can leave you a bit unsettled. Me, when I look at scissors and get deja vu.
Alrighty then.
So
death by scissors in a previous life, maybe?
I don't know. It's fucking weird.
Or you're a serial killer by scissors?
Maybe I kill someone with... Anyways, I don't want to get into that. Is it a sign? No.
As long as it ain't me.
But because this feeling happens so fast and it goes away so quickly, it is difficult for like scientists and neurologists to study. So there are a lot of different theories about what deja vu is and what causes it. Some are, oh, it's a glitch in the matrix. Some think it's a sign of maybe like a mental illness. Even some researchers believe it's a way for your brain to sort of know that your memory checking system is working well, or like a misfiring of neurons. Past life is also a thing, like we mentioned. Maybe I killed someone with scissors in a past life. I don't know. And another one is alien abductions, but who fucking knows what it actually is. But I have a couple of just weird instances of deja vu, and then another weird thing about deja vu. So here we go. These are all from Reddit users in the subreddit, like, have you experienced deja vu? So one person says, I experience deja vu constantly, and it's actually quite handy. For example, I knew something terrible was to be revealed when I walked into school one morning. I felt like someone had died. Turns out a girl had committed suicide. It made me much more prepared for the feelings. I'd known her relatively well and had worked with her in projects. Also attempted to stop my parents from becoming bankrupt from a business partnership. 3 weeks later, the business collapsed, money was stolen, and hopes were crushed. So, like, that one, I'm like, is that deja vu, or is that more like a premonition, or do they go hand in hand?
It's a very good gut feeling.
Yeah, like
I
a gut feeling.
like to think that my gut is pretty fucking right on. My head doesn't always listen to it, but, like, I don't know, just like a small little... Lexy's boyfriends in the past, never liked them. And they're all gone now.
Well,
so the
damn.
gut feeling? Premonition? I don't know.
Deja vu? Who fucking knows? Oh, God.
Sorry, Lexi's exit.
It's fine. It's fine.
It was
Just
pretty
keep it
well
coming.
known.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
my emotions.
Yeah. I don't think he listens, so I think you're good. So, okay, another one. It goes, I don't know if this is deja vu or if there's another term for it, but I'm going to tell this story anyway. I was probably 13 or 14 at the time. I was in my room, sitting at my desk, doing homework and eating dinner, which I had about half finished, when I hear a knock at my door. I told whoever it was to come in, and it was my mom, holding my dinner. This made me very confused because, as I said, I was just eating it. I say as much to my mom, and she points out that she just finished making dinner and that there's no food on my desk. I look down, and my dinner has disappeared. To this day, I still have no explanation for this.
That's
Like,
weird.
what the fuck?
That is weird. That's
And again,
like a time loop or a little like
right? And
glitch.
a lot of like these deja vu stories and the research I've been doing, like the deja vu, time loop, and glitch in the matrix, I think that's almost like what I'm leaning towards what it is. It's probably fucking misfiring of neurons or some boring bullshit like that, but I don't know. It's weird.
It is very strange.
This one's a little creepy.
Well, on that past one, was there any reference of like the food was the same, or was it just food?
Ooh, I don't know. They didn't specify, but that would be weird.
It could also be that she's so used to having dinner at that time.
Yeah.
That her mind's like, doo-doo, dinner
Yeah, because
time.
sometimes, like the other day, I don't know if this is deja vu, I'm getting sidetracked, but this is actually something I was meaning to tell you guys. So I work from home now, so I'm home alone a lot of the day. So in the morning, I like got up and I opened my sliding door just like with the screen closed to let some air come in. It was like open all morning. And then around like 10 or 11, I'm like, oh, I'm going to hop in the shower real quick. And I was like, I'm going to hop in the shower. I'm home alone. I'm going to close my door and lock it because I'm paranoid as fuck. And then I'm going to lock the bathroom door in the shower in case someone tries to come in and murder me in the shower. And so I get out of the shower and my fucking sliding door's open. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm literally walking around my house pretending to be on the phone with the cops. I did this. Yes, I was like, okay, officer, you're on your way? That's great, officer. I'm glad you're on your way. I'm checking. And I was like looking under my bed and in my closets. And I made Kyle come home on his lunch break and like check everything. I was fucking paranoid. But
I have to say that we probably played a little bit in that paranoia for being in your house when you didn't know.
I know.
With that said slider door open.
I know. I was like, what the fuck? But again, maybe.
Here again?
Yeah. He's in my house.
Come out wherever you are.
Get out here, bitch. I know you're in here. But yeah, so that was like a weird glitch, or maybe just me being forgetful. I swore to God I closed it though, but maybe I didn't. It was weird. Anyways, all right. Another Reddit user story. When I was in high school, I had a very vivid dream about waking up to see a humanoid creature hunched over the foot of my bed after killing and cutting up my dog with her fur and blood dripping off of his knife-like fingers.
Why the fuck did you choose this, you bitch?
I'm sorry.
Esther.
I yelled at it and chased it into my mom's bedroom where it jumped out a window, and I found my mom on the floor dying and saying something like rape or rake, or she was yelling something along those lines. I was describing this dream to a friend of mine in class, and another student turned around and asked me to describe what it looked like again, so I told them, and he pulled up a picture on his phone and asked me if it looked like what I saw, and it did. So the person pulled up a picture and he's like, is this what you saw? And they're like, yeah, that's what was in my dream. Apparently, I had seen something called the rake. Have you ever heard of that creepypasta?
No, I don't think so, no.
It's like what this person described is like a creature with knife-like fingers. But this person had never even heard of that, allegedly. So they're like convincing themselves, maybe I saw it on the internet, but anyways, still pretty creepy that they have never heard of that creepypasta.
Oh shit, this thing is creepy as fuck. I just Googled it.
Oh, you did? It's gonna come into you in your dreams. You're not supposed to Google it. Just kidding.
Oh, god damn it. You should have put that PSA first.
Sorry. Warning.
That just reminded me. Last night I had a dream, and it's a pretty long-winded dream, so I'm not going to go into it. It's really weird and kind of creepy. But at one part, all my neighbors were just in the street saying Shark Week, Shark Week, and I told James, I was like, yeah, I had this weird dream, and I told him that part. He's like, well, it is Shark Week, and I was like, what the fuck is Shark Week? Like, I didn't even know it was Shark Week, and
so
I was
weird.
like, I must have seen some kind of commercial or something. Yeah, I was like, why is everyone yelling Shark Week?
That is so funny. Oh my god. Okay, I have one more story. So, okay, about 1 year ago, I had a totally mundane but really strange dream about being in a stranger's house. It was very detailed, and I really paid attention to the pictures on the walls, the furniture, decorations, and other small details in this unknown house. Really weird. I remembered it for so long, but anyways, yesterday I was invited to a party at a friend's house. I didn't know my friend's friend and had of course never been to their house before. I love meeting new people, so I agreed to come. The moment I stepped into this house, it was the exact same as in my dream. The same furniture, placed exactly like in my dream. It was even the same goddamn pictures. I remember it so clearly that I'm 100% sure I dreamt about this house before visiting. It was really weird and unsettling in some kind of way.
I almost feel like that could have been like an astral projection. You
Yeah.
know, when you sleep and you like astral project yourself into this house and
Uh-huh.
then you have the memories of it, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, have you guys ever experienced like seeing someone and being like, God, they look so fucking familiar, but you don't know them? You're like, did I see them in a dream? Did I know them in college? Or did I?
When I was a kid, I would have a reoccurring dream of like this guy that I didn't know, and he was like Peter Pan type of guy. I don't even know, but I would go to the arcade with him, and it was like a reoccurring dream. Like I was like, oh, see you next time, and then I would like a couple weeks later have the same dream with like the same guy with it like we're somewhere else, and like remembering the other time that I had spent with him. So weird.
Whoa.
Did you ever share that with family to see if maybe it was a family member in the past?
I did not.
someone
Maybe I
that
should be
died.
like, hey.
I want to cover that one time, or either do a mini-sode of like the moments where like either your imaginary friend or
imaginary
dreams
friends.
like that, where it turns out maybe it was a past family member. That would be kind of cool.
That would be
Ooh.
cool. Yeah.
If you think that would be cool, let us know.
Yeah. Let us know in the
Leave
comments.
comments below.
Okay, I have one more quick little fun fact. So, a man in the UK, he's 23, he's said to be experiencing chronic deja vu. So, scientists believe the cause of this phenomenon could be anxiety. And in my notes, I have whelp.
You could
His
not you.
condition, it was so persistent that he avoided watching TV, listening to the radio, reading the news because he felt like he had already encountered it all before. So this guy had like a little bit of a history of anxiety and depression, and he took LSD once, but other than that, he's very healthy. But he claimed to have felt like he was trapped in a time loop for 8 years of his life. So like, fuck that shit. But who fucking knows what is really up with that guy? Who fucking knows what deja vu is? I don't know, but it's fucking weird.
Speaking of a time loop, have either of you watched the show on Hulu, Palm Springs?
No.
Something Palm Springs.
My
It's
mom
so fucking
wanted
good.
to see it.
Do it. It is so good.
Okay,
I watched it one night.
I'll write it down.
Oh, it's a
Palm
movie. It's a
Springs.
movie. It's a movie.
Okay.
So it makes
Okay.
sense why I watched it one night.
Cool.
It's on Hulu?
Yes. It was
I'll
a
check it
Hulu
out.
exclusive, I believe, because it was supposed to go in theaters, but then Hulu decided to be like, yo, since theaters aren't a thing right now, in at least California.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good
Well.
fucking topic, Lexi. I
Yeah.
like that.
I
Makes
love
me
that.
think a little
Deja
I
bit.
feel like
vu.
that's something that everyone can relate to because
I
everyone has
know.
had a moment of deja vu.
And that's
in
just
their
what makes it
lifetime.
even weirder. Like, everyone's had it. Like, what the fuck is it? Why don't we know? But
Yeah.
anyways.
Who fucking knows?
Who fucking
Who
knows?
We
So
need to trademark that shit.
I know, we do. Seriously.
so
Alrighty, Ange, take us away.
all right. Are you guys ready for a little bit of an adventure into the deep depths of the world?
Yes.
Sure.
All right. On an ordinary workday in the year 2000, brothers Juan and Pedro Sanchez were excavating a new tunnel for the Industries Pinoles mining company located in Nizca, Mexico. By the way, I'm like the worst Mexican ever, and I can't pronounce shit. Like James the other day said I'm a Mexicant because I can't talk. I'm
Well,
like,
when you
"Shut
said
up."
excavate, I thought you meant like a pyramid or a tomb related
No.
to like Egypt. I'm just like, I need more water.
Taylor's triggered.
So they're in Mexico, they're mining, and they drilled through the Nika fault and were concerned it would flood the mine. But something much more incredible happened that day. At 2,625 feet down, the brothers drilled into a cave that to me looks a whole lot like Superman's lair from like the old school movies. I'm gonna pop up a picture of that right now. So yeah, it looked like that. And however, because that layer of Superman's was an ice cave, and this cave was anything but cold. When it was accessible, the cave was extremely hot, with air temperatures reaching up to 136 degrees Fahrenheit, with 90 to 99% humidity. So,
that sucks.
yeah. So why does it look like an ice cave then? Well, rather than towering icicles, the cave is filled with giant selenite crystals. And I
Okay.
mean freaking giant. So the cave's largest crystal found to date is 39 feet in length and 13 feet in diameter, weighing 55 tons. So I'm gonna
Well, just looking at the photos that you have, like comparative to the people that are in there, they are ants compared to these fucking things.
Yeah, so these things, I'm popping them up on OBS right now. For those of you who are listening and cannot see this, either watch it on YouTube or check out our website, because these things are freaking massive and beautiful and incredible. So do that if you get the chance. So the largest previously known crystals came from a sister cave discovered in in 1910 called the Cave of Swords. So this cave, it's located at a depth of 390 feet, 390 feet above the Cave of Crystals. So it's actually like to the left and above or something like that. And those crystals in that cave, however, were only 3 feet and 3 inches long. Like that was the max they reached. So this one freaking destroyed that record.
Yeah. Like,
So
you think you're big? I'm bigger.
yeah, it's like hold my crystal. Not just kidding.
We have a lot of sexual innuendos in this one.
So let's see. My notes just disappeared. Then they
Oopsies.
pop back up. Yeah. So now deemed the Cave of Crystals, or the Giant Crystal Cave, scientists quickly became interested in this national treasure right away, but they ran into a bit of a problem. So the cave is as deadly as it is beautiful because it lies above an underground magma chamber, hence the heat. Without proper protection, people could only endure approximately 10 minutes of exposure at a time. The place is so humid that a visitor who lingers too long risks having fluids condense inside of his or her lungs. So, in fact, one man attempting to steal a spectacular crystal ended up inadvertently pinned to the exact crystal he was trying to steal, causing his death shortly thereafter. So, yeah. So scientists have actually developed their own refrigerated suits and cold breathing systems to explore the cave in 30-minute increments. And they found that the crystals could be as old as 1 million years. So they have different estimates. Some of them took like a sample of the crystal and based on what it was like composed of, estimated it as like 500,000 years. Another person compared the growth rate of the crystals to other crystals that they know of, and it went up to 1 million years. So 500 to 1 million years is how old these crystals are, which is pretty freaking awesome if you ask me. So the crystals are made of gypsum, which is the main ingredient.
Is that gypsum?
Yeah, gypsum. There it is.
Okay. Sorry,
Gypsum.
it's very
Wait. Did Taylor just correct someone?
Yeah. Like, wait.
Very few times I know what to say.
What
and I was
the
like,
hell is
maybe I
going
can
on?
redeem myself from my own story right
How
now.
did you know that? What?
Deja vu.
So gypsum, it's actually the main ingredient in drywall, and so the crystals are made of that, and they're also searing hot and razor sharp. And get this kind of threw me off. They're razor sharp, but also soft like human fingernails. Isn't that kind of weird? Like I'm
like bendy?
When I read that, I don't know. When I read that, I like touch my fingernails just like Taylor is. Like I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck? How do my fingernails feel already soft?
Soft? Bendy?
So, at a 2017 meeting in the American Association for the Advancement of Science, researchers announced the discovery of bacteria found embedded in some of the crystals. So NASA's Astrobiological Institute director Penelope Boston journeyed into the Giant Crystal Cave in 2008 and again in 2009, and she helped discover these microbial life forms. So using sterile methods, the researchers were able to extract and reanimate these organisms, which are not closely related to anything in the known genetic database. So
whoa.
Yeah, so this was a huge breakthrough in science, and a subsequent report indicated that the microbes could be as old as 50,000 years. So it has been confirmed that the microbes are indeed living creatures. Like, they reanimated them, they're alive, and apparently these little things use manganese and iron to produce nutrients to live. So it kind of like blew the freaking scientists' minds, because they're like, what the fuck is this, you know? And so this had profound effects on how we try to understand the evolutionary history of microbial life on this planet, said one scientist that I did not write the name of. I think it was Penelope, but I don't know for sure. So the difficulties Yeah, so the difficulties of exploration are immense, and the total size of the cave is still unknown. And in February 2017, Penelope Boston reported to the BBC that mining operations had ceased. So the pumping of the like groundwater, the original reason why the people were in there, like mining to get the water, they actually let it refill the cave because the crystals had been exposed to the air for nearly 2 decades, and samples had suggested that that compromised the structural integrity of them. So they let the cave refill, and now the crystals might start growing again. So that is my story. Who fucking knows where those microbes came from? I was reading a lot of conspiracy theories that it's like alien lives, you know? Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
Well, what's crazy is that, you know, we just launched, well, not just, it's been maybe a month or two. Anyway, time is a social construct. We just launched more people into space, and there's just so much left of the world that's of our Earth that is unexplored. The oceans, these caves, and you're just like,
Yeah.
I understand wanting to see beyond, but also can we see what the fuck is on our own home turf here?
Seriously.
Things like this, like, I don't know, 2,000, how many, that's like a mile deep, maybe? 2,600?
I have no idea.
I don't know, I feel
I
like
think
that's
that's
around
a
a mile
mile.
deep. Yeah, so
Maybe.
that's like not, in my mind, that's not that far deep. It's deep, but the fact that there's like little mini organisms that can live and endure that, it's like, what the fuck else is out there, man?
Seriously.
Yeah. Do I want an answer? Do I not want an answer?
Cave
like, yeah.
creatures. Like
Yeah.
that one movie, The Descent.
Nope, we don't speak of that
Love
movie.
that
Lexi.
movie.
I still have nightmares from time to time of that fucking movie. Thank you very much.
Well, that's all I have for you guys today. And I wanted
I
to
love
mention
it.
at like the tie of all this that if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave a review and screenshot
you
that
want
shit to get a free sticker. And you gotta send the screen or take the screenshot before you click submit, and email that screenshot to whofucking knows@gmail.com with your address, and we'll send you a free sticker. So do that ASAP. It doesn't
knows?
even
If
have
you're
to be
the-
5-star, but if you give us a 1-star, I'm not gonna give it to you. I'm just kidding.
No.
Well, who knows? If you're the first one, you might get a little something special.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds...
Picture of Lexi's titties. No, I'm kidding.
Whoa!
You know I'm in a whole bottle of wine when I say stupid
Taylor
shit
is
like
one
that,
bottle
so.
of wine in. Mom, I'm not going to send people that, I swear.
Anyway, Lexi, Angela, do you want to read our oracle, or what is it that we do at the end of the episode?
It's the mains are an oracle
Yeah,
card.
I feel it.
Okay,
Let's
right.
do it. Let's do it.
Sorry we forgot to do this last week. We're still getting the groove of things, but hey, we remembered this week.
We were called.
Our
to
whole
it
air of
this
this
week.
podcast is who fucking knows what's happening, so it's with the theme.
Keep you
Who
guys
fucking
on your
knows who did
toes.
All right, let me just shuffle these cards. They're huge compared to my other tarot deck. Ooh, but I got that little shuffle going.
Nice.
So take this as you will. It could be in terms of this episode, in terms of this coming week or today. However you interpret it will be different than every other person. So it says step out of your comfort zone. And let me just pull up the little note for this. Sorry, there's like so many, there's a little table of contents that I gotta go through, and I'm like on my second glass of ponche, so this is extra hard.
We're extra special tonight, folks.
Yeah. So, step out of your comfort zone. There's a strong feeling when you get this card that it's time to leave the past behind somehow, because you're headed in the right direction. If you want to be happy and fulfilled, you need to get going towards doing the things that scares you within reason. This card is all about living your life's purpose, which is possibly what you've asked about. It's urging you to dare to do something different with your life and your direction, to take action. So are you willing to follow through and lead the life you incarnated to live? If you finally find the courage to make the leap, there's a good chance you'll come to ask yourself, why did I wait so long? And additional meanings for this card is you're headed for something which feels like destiny. You need to face a fear and get over it. Time to stop obsessing about someone or something. Stand on your own 2 feet. You've got this.
Got this, folks.
Yeah.
Got
Heard
this.
it from us. Damn, I
feel
like
empowered.
That very nicely.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, fucking take life by the hand. And
By the
people,
balls. Take life by the fucking balls.
Like, both of them. Both in both hands. Just squeeze them tight until they turn blue. I don't know.
Anyways.
We lost Lexy. We lost Lexy.
Cut.
Clearly.
Cut.
That's
Also-
why I don't drink a whole bottle of wine.
No,
very
I
often.
love it.
Keep an eye out because we're about to record a mini-sode. I think that might be coming after this episode. So we're going to keep on drinking. And so
Yeah.
Yes.
and I'm already like having a hard time with words. So I'm just going to
It's gonna be
Words
good.
are hard. Thanks for listening. Send us some love. We love hearing it. And enjoy your week. Until next time, friends.
Mwah.
Bye.